It's Saturday night at Womo as we get set for 12 races in store for you this evening. Looking forward to a really great card of horse racing action. My name is Elisa Blow. Randy's going to join me momentarily. The new Holland Pacing Series kicks off tonight. That'll go as race number 8 on the program. We're looking for another showdown between a couple of Maneri horses, one of which is Bruno No No No. The other one is It's Saturday Night, who comes off of a great win last week. So we'll be watching for that. We have an Open 2 for the boys. That'll go as race number 9 on the program. That race comes up pretty salty. And guess what? We have 3 pick 5s on tonight's program and also a really big carryover in the Jackpot High Five as we welcome Hall of Famer Randy Waples into the mix here tonight. Randy, back from vacation yesterday. You got the first day out of the way and you gave us all a $28 winner. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, everybody always says that you can't catch James at a price. I found him.
Huh? You sure did.
I say, I would have to think there.
And then didn't you go over to James and say thanks a lot for, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Thanks for Muscle Fashion, Katie Graham. James was just along for the ride. I figured that between Muscle Fashion, Katie Graham, and Randy Waples, we're the ones that got him to the winner's circle. James is just there for the ride. But yeah, nice way to start it off. And we get some nice weather tonight. My first Saturday in quite a while.
Yes.
And I mean, hey, listen, we're in this business Saturday night.
That's the night.
This is the night you'll want to be here.
I'm really excited about this New Holland kicking off this evening too, because Dave Maneri has been dominant in the open paces over the winter months with a couple of nice horses, but now it's 2 different horses that are going to face off against each other. What do you think, just quickly? Do you think it's Bruno or do you think it's Saturday Night?
I think Bruno outsprints the other horse. I think the other horse, to me, has a big motor. It takes a lot to get it Saturday Night tired. Bruno, to me, is a sprinter and a very good one. He can go out of there 100 miles an hour, get himself into control, and then, have the same on the end of it. And that is tough to beat a horse like that. So again, I think that tonight, even though the other horse has the better date by a week, I think that Bruno, if he gets on his back or stays close to him, I think he outsprints him.
Yeah, really looking forward to that race on tonight's program.
Bruno No could turn into Bruno Yes, right?
Good. Alrighty, what happened last night aside from Randy's big $28 winner? Well, guess who won the Open 2 for the girls on last night's program? It was Absolution, who finally broke through with that first win of the season. She'd been bet down as the favorite on numerous occasions, and last night Bob took over the driving duties, and he seemed to get along very well with her.
This is twice that I've seen Bobby drive her, and he's drove her exactly the same both times. I mean, he buries her, leaves her there. She's got that sneaky speed that she can go 25 seconds in the drop of a hat, and that's how he races her. I mean, at this point, it looks like, we're going to have he's not going to get there, but here he comes, finds his way out, and is able to get the job done. And this is, to me, when she's at her most dangerous, is when you use her a short piece. And, Bobby is going to get along really well with her. And I'm going to tell you another guy that would have got along incredibly well with this horse when he was driving is a guy named Jack Moiseo.
Yeah.
Because
just happens to be the trainer.
Yes, these are his kind of drives. You know what I mean? He was pretty sneaky too.
Well, there were a lot of people that were trying to catch Absolution, including myself. And yesterday, laid off of her, and she gives us back $10.30.
Well, I mean, and it's not really like it's a driver change that you're really going to peak, because she did have James and went to Bobby. So to me, it should have been a lateral move. But all I'm saying is that's twice that I've seen McClure drive her. Both times he buried her the whole mile, got out late, and I mean, she was gone. So I just think that he's going to get along quite well with her.
Yeah, he had a nice win last night too for Determination as well, right?
We're going to be using that one as I think for Sunday, using that horse as a bit of an example.
That's right. There is another one that they have coming up. Okay, let's get started with the handicapping because we have a busy night. 12 races in store for you this evening. First race on the card is for 4-year-olds and younger. Non-winners of 2 or $15,000 life with a field of 10. I went to, speaking of Bob McClure with this Sobble Ambush, this horse that Otis Hall trains. Last start, came from flying, had the 10 hole, was way back at the pack, and then ended up closing up a ton of ground, came home in 27 and 4 to finish in the 6th place spot. And that was in behind 10 Carat Garrett, who I think we were all, everybody wants to see that horse win. 10 Carat Garrett. And for me, I like watching Jim drive the horse.
Yeah,
right? Because
I do
to me,
too.
that's that classic style, right? Sitting up straight.
Yeah, watching where he's
handles
going.
Here. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, paying attention.
Yeah, just the different style, right, between that fashion
Yeah.
and the new fashion now. But that was a lot of fun. So yeah, Sauble Ambush, I think, will take a lot of support here in the opener. What
Hard
about
to
you?
believe that a guy that Jimmy Whalen that could crack me across his knee there like a twig doesn't need his or has his handholds up high.
Right.
Doesn't have them back here.
No, but that's
yet
the
he's
way
as
you
strong
learn.
as can be.
Yeah,
you know?
I
Doesn't
know.
make any sense. Anyway, I agree with you on the Sauble Ambush, and to go a little bit deeper on him. So he wins on the February the 14th, comes back 2 weeks later, but doesn't go to the simple non-winners of 2. He goes to the tough non-winners of 2. Non-winners of 2 or 30,000. That is a big jump from a maiden right into that tough non-winners of 2. Gets a tough trip. He's 3 wide at the half. Nothing really worked out for him. He had broken equipment. Nothing went well. Then next week, 2 weeks later, he has the 10 hole, but now he comes down into the more manageable non-winners of 2, which he's going to be in here tonight. And it was a good effort. You can see finished 6th, sits last, comes a back half in 56, mile in 55. Now he goes from the 10 hole and he's got the 5 hole and he's back in on a good rotation. I think all signs are pointing towards Sauble Ambush. So that's the way I went as well.
I would agree. Solidarity, another horse you likely want to use in there. And what about this Johnny Wiggles horse, first start of the season here?
Yeah, threw him in for third. Don't really know. The only thing I can say is that the part owner of this horse, he's going to be trying to get everything he can get. And that is Mr. McNair himself. Douglas in town to going to drive one of his own. Interesting, qualified February the 27th and then comes back like almost 2 weeks later for the next qualifier. And both of them were good. I thought that the next qualifier was a little bit of an improvement from the first one, but he does draw the outside. Not really sure how hard Dougie's going to want to be with him, but I do think he puts him into play.
All right, that is the opener on the program. As we flip over to race number 2, non-winners of 9,000 in their last 4 with a field of 8. Now, here's something that last week that I just thought was interesting. We had Wallace Hartley claimed out of his race. Chantal Mitchell had been training this horse for quite some time, and there were 6 claims in on him for a pretty big price, right? 50,000 or so, plus HST, as Jeff pointed out.
Jeff would
And
know it.
in the shake, yes, in the shake with 6 people going in, guess who gets the horse? Don Lindsay. Now, when I think of Don Lindsay, I don't think about him as a big claiming trainer, but he's gone for quality. He's gone and got a horse that they've spent a little bit of money on, that they can have some fun with this season. Bob McClure is going to take over. That's always the case. Anytime you see Don Lindsay, you most likely see Bob McClure doing the driving. But Chantal Mitchell is going to try and turn the tables here tonight because she's got Uncle Shank. So she's going to want to try to beat Wallace Hartley here this
guaranteed.
evening. You just want to do. Whenever you lose a horse, you want to beat them the next start out. So I think let's go, Uncle Shank. I went 8-7 in race number 2.
I went 7-8, and I agree with everything that you said. But the reason I went 7-8 was simply because if the 8 comes out of there too, I think he's going to be the last one to clear. That gives Uncle Shank a 2-hole ride behind, Wallace Hartley, a 2-hole ride behind Uncle Shank. He is picking up a different driver. He is picking up a different trainer. So I'm just going to take a shot, put him on top. But I think that the 7 and the 8 to me are more or less interchangeable.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, box them just in case.
I would, yes.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than, like I said, anytime you get a horse claimed off you, that's exactly what you want to do, is run something back in the same spot so you can beat it. Let's go to race number 3. Third race on the program, 4-year-olds and younger, non-winners of 1 or $9,000 life with a field of 9. All right, I've been chasing this always too hot. It feels like since February 14th. I guess. I will use the horse in the second spot tonight, but this Osceola horse raced pretty well. Josie's Triplets back on March the 14th in behind Solidarity. And that was against PL Taco too, who a lot of people have been waiting for that maiden score to come with that horse as well. So I went 1-7, and then I included, I'm going to give him another shot here, Continuum, after he self-destructed last week.
So what's your numbers?
175.
175, and you didn't.
I used the 9 for.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So our numbers are basically the same. It's just that you have the 9 in there, and I got the 8 in there.
This breath hour horse.
Yeah, you didn't use the breath hour
I
horse.
didn't
You have a
tonight.
problem with Murray?
No, Murray knows I don't have a problem with him.
Okay. Well, I don't know, Murray.
But I mean, obviously Murray's gone back to the drawing board after that first lifetime start, and he's made a whole bunch of changes
He
with
has,
this one.
yeah, a lot of changes. I threw Winsun Gunner in for second, and he's a cattle wash, coming from a barn that I absolutely love. So I think that there's some, some looks at Win Sun Gunner, but I'm going to go Always Too Hot. And I like, are you going to go the one horse on top?
I
Is
went
that
with the
where you
one
went?
on top, then the 7.
Okay,
I've been chasing the 7 though.
Right. So I like the one. I got him in for third. My only problem with the one, though, is that I find that sometimes he's flashy, but he doesn't want to win. And that kind of gets me. Whereas we're seeing kind of the same thing with Always Too Hot, but I'm not 100% sure if they weren't kind of going above board to try to keep this guy kind of calm and cool in the racing. And I think now after, 3 or 4 starts into him, we got to see what we got, right?
Yeah.
So maybe tonight they're going to come out of there and maybe, the 8 horse is going to come with them and maybe cover him up. But I'm going to go 7, 8. But I like Continuum in here. I got him in for 4th, even though with the brakes and that, he shows a lot of speed. And he comes from a mare that was Ginger and Fred. I raced against her. Boy, oh boy, she was pretty special. And then Jose's Triplets, I threw him in for 3rd. Has the rail. But the only thing that bothers me a little bit with him is, like I said, just there's a couple of times that I thought maybe he should have got the job done. And we see that with, kind of different horses sometimes, like a PL Talk or Rapasso.
Always Too Hot.
How many times did we have Rapasso because he'd come flying on the end of it to finish second? We put him on top the next week, and guess what? This time, he goes backwards, but finishes second anyway. So I'm starting to think that maybe that's what we're seeing with Jose's Triplets, although we are getting them freshened up. So interesting way to go here. I'm going to go Always Too Hot. I like yours as well.
All right, so that is the 3rd. 4th race on the card tonight.
First replay of the night.
Yes, and it's where we kick off the pick 6 tonight as well. So we're on the pace here. We're looking at claimers in for tags 16 down to 12. And, okay, there's a couple of things in here for me. First, you got Shane Barrington, who's dropping this Kyle's Art, right? So I think, obviously the drop and pop angle could move and work for him. They've raced against horses like Exotic Sand, who's really made a name for himself this winter here. I am very curious and excited to see what Always Be Sweetest does now that she is back in the Ron McDonald barn, or he is back in the Ron McDonald barn. This horse, they kept dangling him like a carrot, Randy, saying, you want him, you can have him. $12,000. You want him, you can have him. And nobody went. And then all of a sudden, fellows said, yeah, I'll take him. Let's take a shot on this horse. And so he claims the horse. And the first race, you're thinking, oh, fellows, the good barn that he's moving into, we should be able to see something big. Nothing happens from this horse. In fact, he was distanced. I mean, he was 30 lengths behind. And there was one claim entered. And I said to Jeff, you got to bet that's Ron McDonald. So I want to know, obviously, and look, there's tons of us out there that have played this claiming game for many, many years, and there's always 1 or 2 horses. There's a little trick to them. I think there's a little trick to this horse, and that's why they took him back. And tonight, they are changing the shoes, aluminum to flops up front. Which
means that he's probably has sore feet.
Yes. Well, like you say, I just want to see what's going on with him. So I have to include him in my ticket
I don't
tonight.
blame you. Yeah, you're going to want to go back, see what's going to go on. You want to see the end of the movie.
I do, yeah.
There you go. I don't blame you.
There is a different actor in it, though, Tyler Jones.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay, so Always Be Sweetest, getting a change tonight, going back to the Ronald McDonald barn. I'm not going to include it. There just happens to be a couple of other ones that I like, but I do like this horse, and I understand where you're going with him because, boy, oh boy, he was tough to beat before he left Ronald McDonald's barn. So where I'm going to go, though, is Bayfield Beach. We're going to show the replay on him. He's going to be my worth a look. Now, one of the reasons why I like him before we show the replay on him is the fact that when he come out of there last week, and is this a two-parter, Jason? Did we show the first of it and then the last of the race? Okay, so here we're going to go. It's the way he gets to the front that impresses me. He's a horse that's been here a long time, and sometimes, when he used to come out of there, they'd be chasing him on that. They ain't chasing him. I think this is a horse that's on really, really wicked good form right now. So let's take a look at him going out of there. Travis Cullen going, and you're going to see, like I said, he doesn't have to do much to get this guy to the front. So I don't think he's going to have much problem in here tonight, coming right back from the same post. So look at this. Comes out of there with him, shoulders back, not chasing him, not doing anything. He's just letting the horse take the bit and pull him out of there. And this is where it's going to end up. And look at the shoulders are already back, letting these horses clear. This is a sharp horse in my mind. And plus, look at the back class that he brings as well. So now let's go to the second part of this replay. And now you can see Travis, and look at it, still shoulders back, not asking this horse to do anything. This horse is doing this all on his own. He's not going to get out, in my opinion, till it's too late. But when he gets out, he moves forward. So now he finally gets him off the rail, but he has to keep swinging him wide and swinging him wide. Finally, he gets him in some clear path. He's not going to catch James, but watch this guy start to move right here deep in the race.
Yeah, he's got some nice late pace on.
And he's got the back class, and he catches this horse for second. Oh, no, he doesn't. No, he doesn't.
He gets third there.
Gets in for third. But I thought it was a good race. I thought there was improvement. I thought that he looked better in there. But one quickly before we move on, I want to ask you, because you raced a lot of claimers in your career. Go to Kyle's Art. Now, why is it that every time that he drops in price, he wins? He went from the 40 to the 24, the 30 to 40 to the 24 on February the 1st, had the 10 hole, he's a winner. Then he drops from that class down into the 18s. First start, he's a winner. Now he drops from the 18s down into the 12 to 16, so basically into 16. Is this a winner? Why is this horse, every time he drops, he pops?
I don't know, because it's not like you're telling the horse what he's in against tonight. I mean, this was an answer for maybe a horse psychologist.
I guess,
because I don't quite understand it myself.
Yeah.
But he
Interesting,
does,
though.
Yeah, but he does catch your eye because of that, right?
Yes.
Like you said, every time he drops, he's
Did
there.
you use him?
I did. I put him on top.
Oh, nice. I put him in for third. What am I doing telling you anything? You should be asking me. They're talking. Let's switch chairs. Put you over here.
I was there for about 3 weeks. I'm good now. Thank you. Let's go to the fifth race. Winners of
That's a
three,
nice
but
pick.
not more than five. Thank you.
You're welcome.
We do not have Ed Hensley tonight.
Oh.
Yes, I don't know where he is. If he's, I think I heard something about he might be renovating a bathroom. Yeah, something along those lines.
Did I start something?
Yeah. So we need a driver with the 8 Blue Bar. Now, what do you think about this Chantal Mitchell horse that she's got here tonight? This is a neat horse, this Franco Santana. Look at this qualifier from him. I mean, that's just a jog in the park, I guess. And he gets onto the Lasix program as well.
Yeah, viciously good, right? It's looking to me like it's going to be first start Lasix.
Yep.
Maybe it's not. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe he's had it in him before, or maybe he had it a different time. Big speed horse, lots to like. But first start Lasix, and to me, I find that James kind of goes that route that I kind of like. Unless this horse, he knows that this has been, a fast mile, a schooler, that the horse had Lasix in him or something, I think he'll race him a little bit easier. That's what I'm counting on. I'm using him in for fourth, so I do like him. I'm just thinking that maybe he might go a little bit easier. So where I'm going to go is a horse that had a big year last year, made $106,000 with 18 starts, 12 times, hit the top 3 in 18 starts, and has that one tightener under his belt. Had 2 qualifiers, SOS Sportsbet, had the 2 qualifiers to go, win his last one with the last quarter in 25 and change. First start, draws the 9 hole, goes right to the back, does absolutely nothing, but only beaten 3.5. So let's take a look at the replay on SOS Sportsbet. Now coming in on a good rotation, has the 9 hole again, but with the scratch of Grin and Win, going to have the 8 hole and got McNair. I think the easy work was done last week, and I think that they're going to try to find out what they got this week. So let's take a look and see if he's got any pop for Travis Henry. Last week, this is who drove him. Dougie was away. So let's take a look at him. Travis gets him out into the flow, which to me, that's already a good sign, because when you're sitting at the back of the pack with a horse coming off his first line, you got no issues sitting last on the fence and just, giving him an easy one.
Yep.
You move them to the outside if you think that they got some go.
Right.
And I think that that's what it is. Again, look at the shoulders on Travis. He's not asking this horse to do anything, and he's already moving him 4 deep from the back of the pack. Like, he's already got this guy stoked up. Now, like I said, he is going to fall short, but remember 2 things. Number one, It was his first start back in a while. Number two, he usually does a lot of his racing when he's engaged. He wasn't engaged. He sat last. This is the way that you should race a horse back. If I'm Greg McNair, I'm giving a big pat on the back to Travis Henry for this. But it was a good race. Now, to me, I think he's in a little bit easier. Not in against Uncle Shank is one of the ones. Does have to face Blazing Cruiser. But I think he's in a spot now where Dougie can go out of there with him and find out what do we have.
Yeah, very good. Very good points on that one. So we'll be watching for that too, because that was a pickup for Travis Henry that night, right? What do you do with RB Tenacious T? You got him in there. I mean, he's so hard to leave off your ticket. He's, back on the beam again.
That's the thing. And if we go back on these lines, like we're seeing the way that Travis is racing them now. Remember when he first started to kind of do good, he was racing them from off the pace. So I don't think it's going to be a big problem if he wants to go out, if he wants to kind of, float, get away mid-pack and then try to get him into the flow. Or maybe he might even sit back with him and just try a one-rush deal. What I don't see him doing is barreling him out of there.
Right.
But, hey, listen, every time you're behind the gate, your mind can change. But I don't see it right now that he's going to wail out of there with this horse.
So that's the 5th race on the card. The 6th race is where we play the mid-pick 5. So there's 3 pick 5s on tonight's program because we have the 12 race card for you and a field of 8 here in race number 6. Now I'm pretty proud of myself for making that pick with La Mandier last week. I am all over this Ron McDonald barn right now. Anytime I see them, I just put a circle around them right away. This horse is listed 8-1 morning line. Why can't he come right back and win here tonight? I used him on top over Batter Up Hanover. Then I used the 6 Beach Tour for Horner. He's brought a few horses in, Mike Horner, that have done all right this season, especially when he uses Dougie, I find.
Yeah.
And this horse has raced against some interesting horses like Stormalong that you're going to see on tonight's program too. So I'm just going back to the horse that I went with last start, who I thought had a really easy victory. And by the way, he did it in 1:52.4, which was a new life's mark.
Yeah, and look at the back half. Okay?
He's a 9-year-old that gets a new life's mark.
Yeah, really, really big effort. My thing is, though, is that if he decides to race him the same way 2 weeks in a row, he's going to have to come from the outside, and I think everybody's going to try to drop down in on his back. So I'm going to look to play against him. I think that there's no way you're going to get 6-1 morning line after what he did last week in only an 8-horse field. So I'm going to play against him. I think Beach Tour is going to take a lot of looks. Where I'm going to go is a horse that also win last week, and that's the 5-horse Batter Up Hanover. Big speed on the end of it for Benny Blue Eyes. I like the fact that Louis coming back on him. I like the fact that he's got that big move, and if they don't overuse it, boy, it's a good one. So I'm going to go Batter Up.
All right, let's go to race number 7. 7th race, 5-year-olds and younger non-winners of 3 or 50,000. Oh boy, guess who's in this race? Gary.
Gary's been a good one, Gary.
What an awesome little claim this horse
has
been for the Schneiders. I mean, they took this horse back on February the 23rd, and he hasn't done anything wrong. He's won 3 races consecutively. Now, he does come back a little quick. He raced March the 16th, and he's back here tonight, so a 5-day return for this one. But he's in a purple patch right now. Now, that being said, another barn that's having a really good 2026 campaign is the Myrner outfit. They won a couple of races last week on one card. This horse got beat by Stormalong. That's, no slouch. I know it's the outside draw, and we don't always like that, but he's a really neat horse. Zeb's crafty. Major Threat is a neat one too. He's been racing against some good ones, including RB Tenacious T. And here we find Mr. Whalen with 10 Carat Garrett. Now I don't know. He's got to step it up here tonight, but it's like ever since he got a little taste of winning, he seems to really like it.
No, for sure. I mean, he's a bettor's delight, so you could honestly see him, getting better and better as he goes on. So best of luck with 10 Carat Garrett tonight, but unfortunately, I'm going to pick against the Beard. Where did you go? Where's your top
I
pick?
went 10-9-3,
okay,
and then I tossed a 7 in Gary.
Okay, so I used 10 in for second, I used the 9 in for fourth, I used the 3 in for third. I'm going to go Magical Bet. That's where I'm going to head in with him. Now, he gets away from the rail. He's had the rail 2 weeks in a row, gets away from the 50 claimer. I'm not saying that the straight non-winners of 3 is cheap, because it's not, far from it. This is actually the class that used to kind of more or less separate you years ago. If you were going to go to claimers, or basically if you were going to go the condition route, this was the race that did it. But it I don't think it's as tough as the straight claimer. So Magical Bet, let's take a look at the replay. He's coming in here on a good rotation. 2 weeks ago, he finished 9th, didn't do a whole lot with him. James drove him. Last week, Bobby took over with this guy, and I thought it was a nice effort. Good last quarter of 27 flat. He's got big, big wheels on the end of it if he's hid. If he's hid this horse, if he's sneaky, kind of like Absolution, if he sneakily drove, this horse has got a big, big move. So let's take a look at last week. And Bobby has already had a win with this guy sitting behind him. You can see 1 out of 10 this year. That was thanks to Mr. McClure. So here we go with this one. Now you can see the reason I showed you the two-part on this is look at the gap that this guy does, Elisa, from the rail. He gets away so far back. Now, he might gap him again this week, but I don't think he's going to have to do it as bad this week because he's got the 4-hole as opposed to that dirty rail.
Yeah.
If you got a horse that doesn't have much gate speed and you get the rail, boy, it can play against you bad. And so now here he is. He's finally starting to catch the pack going into the first turn. So let's go to the second part. Now here he is, still sitting back there looking to catch that pack. And remember, when the gate said go, I'll guarantee you he gave up 7 lengths off the gate. And I don't see him having to do that tonight. But does he have any go? Well, right away I'm starting to think, because McClure doesn't come off the rail and go 2 wide. McClure doesn't come off the rail and go 3 wide. McClure comes off the rail and goes right to the outside, wanting to get fresh air into this horse's face. So obviously there was some good go there, and he starts to make up some ground here. I don't say that it's the greatest race that I've ever seen, but again, I'm going to go back to what I said. The horse gave up 7 lengths off the start.
Right.
So that's why I think he's in a better position here tonight. He seems to be firing a little bit better. He does always have big speed on the end of it. So I'm going to take a shot and hope that Bobby McClure brings the surgeon gloves tonight.
Alrighty, race number 7. Here's the selections. The 8th race, no show wagering in the 8th. We'll just get that right out there. This is the kickoff of the New Holland Pacing Series, first leg. We've had the Trotting Series go last Monday. We'll see them back again on Monday as well. But no show wagering as Maneri's got a serious knockout here. He's got Bruno No, and it's Saturday night. Now, he has had a great winter, Maneri, with either Brew Hanover or It's Saturday Night in these open classes. And it's been
and then
kind of
Irvin before that.
Yeah, they've been kind of trading punches back and forth and back and forth. And now we throw another guy into the mix, and this is Bruno No. So the first race for him was in the Open 2, and that was basically a tiptoe through the tulips, wouldn't you say? I mean, it was pretty easy. So now tonight, he has to, his only main competition, I think, is his stablemate. Because aside from him, I just can't seem to, I think it's anybody for 3rd and 4th.
Yeah, I agree.
So it's just a matter of who do you like better and maybe who gets the trip. Yeah,
and the other thing is, too, is that, some of these horses that are on the outside, Jabberwocky's got the outside and that, but he hasn't raced since March the 7th.
Right.
So some of these horses on the outside, I don't even know if they're going to be coming out of there. I don't know if they're going to be coming out of there or not. And if they start to go to the back and it's Saturday night, lines up and Bruno No sitting on his back, this is going to be an interesting little matchup here. I'm going to go Bruno No with it's Saturday night in for second. I'm not yes, we did send in a replay for Bruno No.
Just so you can see how easy it was.
Exactly. This is 100%. You can see on the line already what he did. You don't need me to tell you, but sometimes the line doesn't show you just how easy they do it. So let's take a look at Mr. No, driven by Mr. Doug. Dougie likes this one too. I talked to him there earlier before. I just said to him, because JR was the one that was driving him for Gabby Sasso. And I said to Dougie, I said, what do you think of this guy? And he was just glowing about this guy. And look at how easy he does it. And it's not that Bruno No, it's not that his best trips are in front. He's actually, in my opinion, a better horse coming off of a helmet. So look at the shoulders on Dougie.
I know.
To me, I think that if he gets away on It's Saturday Night's back, it's goodbye.
Over. I know. Yeah, really great race coming up between these two guys, and who knows? Somebody else could throw it down and get into the mix. You and I both put Jabber in for the 3rd spot and Blue Hunt in for the 4th spot. They seem to be the two that make sense for the 3rd and 4th place.
Oh,
position.
Garnet, he went lone wolfing with It's Saturday Night. Interesting, yeah.
Let's go to the 9th. 9th race is the Open 2, and this race does have a scratch, and it's fairly significant. We're taking the 5-horse out, Salzburg Victor. That horse is in scratch 6. Just keep that in mind. Randy and I always like to kind of point those out when there's 6 scratches, because when you got 1 in the barn, there's generally 2, and then there's 3.
And sometimes they're traveling together.
And well, look at the Heather Pickett horses are both
Yeah.
6 scratches and
Yeah.
likely traveling in the same trailer, right?
Right.
But that doesn't change up my top selection. I think Don Lindsay and Bob McClure have a great shot here to win with Poseidon Sealster.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
100%. What is it that you like about him so much?
He's just such a cool horse. And to me, he's coming out of the Open. He's into the Open too. He doesn't have to worry about it Saturday night and Brew Hanover and all those horses. It's his show tonight, and I think some of the best races I've seen from him are when they just go right off of the gate. That tail swings right up in the air, and you can't beat him when he looks like that.
We've worked together now for 2-3 years,
Yeah.
and we've seen this horse race every time. I don't think I've ever seen his presentation on the track look any better than he does right now.
Don't you think that he looks so? Just since January, I would say he looks like a horse with just confidence beaming
Unbelievable,
out of him.
the difference in him.
Yeah.
And he's always had a good presentation.
But it's different now.
Not like now. It's different now. So let's take a look at the replay for Poseidon Sealster, because I'm in 100% agreement with Elisa. I think that this horse is raced to lose tonight. I don't think that he has to do anything but just go to the front, and they're going to have to hand him the check, or maybe he'll sit in the 2-hole. But let's take a look at last week. Finishes 3rd, last quarter, 26 flat in against It's Saturday Night and Brew Hanover, and he will not be facing either one of those 2 horses tonight. So here's Bobby sitting in the 3-hole with Poseidon, and that's the other thing you gotta love about Poseidon Sealster, Elisa. If you want the front, you're getting it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because he won't let anybody go past him.
And he can get out of there like a scalded cat. And look at Bobby here already. Shoulders back still. Now he's going to take a shot up the inside. And he's not going to get these 2 horses.
But he comes close.
And Bobby still hasn't asked him. He's still just letting him try to keep that bit. And he's an easy 3rd. Okay, he's not going to beat those 2, but no one's even pressuring him for 3rd. Now he misses those 2 horses. I say this is his race to lose.
Me too. And so you and I in agreement here. Garnet's got the 6, Dublin Dasher. Kevin Plouch has got the 9, Pacino Hanover from the Cullen outfit.
And you said there's no Eddie tonight?
That's what I heard. So yes, that means we need a driver with the 9 as well, Pacino Hanover in the 9th race. All right, we are going to skip ahead to race number 11. The 11th race is a pop-up series race. I mean, either Ron McDonald's going to hate me or love me, but I'm just putting him on top all night long, right? So I got Storm Along. I mean, that was, first of all, did they ever have him pumped and ready to win at first asking on March the 8th, off the layoff? And then he comes right back and is even tougher last week. And then he gives us this big mile of 51-4. So why can't he come right back and win? I think, after I saw that, I said, just play him again next time. So I went 8-2, Hazy Coast for Horner. And as I mentioned, Doug seems to do well with the horses he's partnered up with.
We can move on. You just did my right to the T. We can move if you want. That's where I went. I went 8-2. As well, same reasons, Storm Along, he looks sensational. This is another horse that had a little bit of a rest, and then he's come out qualified February the 21st. Never looked any better than he does right now. This whole Ronald, Elisa's not, she's not tugging your leg here.
No.
Ronald McDonald's barn is absolutely incredibly good.
Yep, absolutely.
He could get a new lifetime mark on the Hamburglar right now.
Good for him. Listen, I like it when small barns do incredibly well, because it pads their way through. Things are going to get tougher around here pretty soon when the big guns come
Plus,
back up
it gives
again.
us hope.
Yes, it does. It does. Chad is back with us tonight. And, he was quick to kind of rub it in when he came into the studio. And he said, I would have given you guys another winner last night, too, off the qualifier report. That's right. It's all aces, the qualifier report. What do you got for us tonight?
Well, I've got a couple that are going to debut on Monday, or not debut. One's debuting, one's making the seasonal bow on Monday night on the program. One I think is going to be heavily bet. One's going to maybe get some mild support that you could perhaps consider using underneath. But as I looked back at the qualifiers last week, because we had qualifiers today too, and I think there was 9, so some busy ones going on, starting to get a lot more horses qualifying, which is good. But the pair that I'm going to focus in on, we've got Luke Blais and Bob McClure. They had a winner together last night with Eurobank Hanover. That was Luke Blais' first start of the year. Well, they've got an expensive one that's going to get going on Monday in Delightful Yankee. That's her name. 3-year-old filly that's out of the multiple stakes winning Dan Darlene Hanover first foal, for that one. But the one thing I say about Delightful Yankee, the connections, referring to Bob and Luke, they're very good teachers. But this is a very, very winnable spot. So I think they can do everything right as far as not going to the well, taking care of the horse, getting around, making an education, and still get the job done. But this is the visual that I've got from the latest qualifier. And she did have a double qualifier, just as Eurobank did. Coming ready for this, turning for home. Bob just starts to tip out a third, and I like what I'm seeing from this one. Bob's not really calling on her. She sets herself down. You can see she carries her head low and just seems to be all business in the center of the track. So the daughter of Muscle Hill will trot home in 28, ends up getting the win, 2 minutes and 2. And as we know, this time of year, these nominators of 1 trots, a little lighter than you generally get in a couple of months' time. So I think Delightful Yankee's in a very good spot. Another one, although the morning line odds are fairly low, 3-1 on PL Sapphire, I do think that she's going to go postward higher than that. James McDonald qualified her. She goes for the Katie Huskinson barn now. Matt Dupuis had been doing the training. Now, we're not going to see a whole lot here because it started getting snowy on the last couple, but as we get a little further down the stretch, about the final 8th is when you're going to kind of see the horses, coming up with, into sight. And James is one that's sitting right now 6th in behind horses and just continues to stay in behind horses, never really does angle out to where there's going to be any clearance, keeps this one on a helmet. She's trotting strong. I'm not convinced the final quarter was what it necessarily reads to be, but it was good nonetheless. And I think PL Sapphire was well handled in that race and is one that showed plenty of strong closing ability so far through her young career. And I think this is one you're going to see probably well off of the pace in the first start of the year from the 10 hole against a pretty deep group on Monday. But look for PL Sapphire to maybe make up some ground in the stretch. So just a couple to maybe keep an eye on Monday, guys.
Yeah, good stuff. Hey, got to ask you, though,
okay,
tonight, is it Bruno or is it Saturday night for you?
To me, based on what I saw from Bruno in that first start from Maneri, I'm all over that one.
Yeah, I think we all are. Yeah.
But I mean, Maneri, he's got to feel pretty good going into this series right now because he's got a heck of a 1-2 punch, doesn't
he?
he?
Does.
And then what happens when he brings Brew back? I mean, not that he's going to be, but I mean, when it comes to being loaded in the top class, I mean, he's got Irvin, he's got Brew, he's got, it's
house,
Saturday
buddy.
night, he's got Bruno, no, wow. I mean, he's got some beauties.
Isn't that nice to look down the shed row and be like, oh, that's $1 million one, that's $1 million one?
Yeah.
Randy, get the colors out. Dave could be looking for some drivers.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Well, you throwing your hat in the ring?
No, you.
No.
Yeah.
I'm just doing bathrooms now.
Yeah, Tim the Tool Man. Yeah, all right. Great job, buddy.
Take care, Bob.
Thanks for that,
Have a good night, guys. All right.
All righty. Okay, so that will get us through the 12 races tonight. Should remind you that the Jackpot High Five carryover is over $162,000 in race number 12. You've got an early pick 5, and I see you've got a key here in the opener.
I'm going to start it off with a key, and that's going to be Sobble Ambush. Really do like him in here, getting away from the 10 hole and coming back to the easier non-winners of 2 races. 7 and 8, Wallace Hartley, Uncle Shank in race number 2. 7-8, Always Too Hot, and Winsun Gunner in race number 3. Race number 4, I went Bayfield Beach, I went Kyle's Art, and I went Vertical Squirt. And then in race number 5, I went Blazing Cruiser and SOS Sports Bet. And you didn't tell me the answer to the question on Kyle's Art, because you put him on top, and I think that you've seen that drop and pop
I'm
angle.
sneaky,
Yes,
you know?
exactly.
Sneaky good.
Exactly.
You got a mid-pick 5 as well. Kicks off in race number 6, and you're going to use Batter Up Hanover and Beach Tour.
Yeah, I'm going to start it off with that one. Batter Up Hanover, very, very quick. I like that way. And race number 7 is going to be an all. I do like Magical Bet, but I think that this is a race where, you could catch a price in there. Race number 8, single, is going to be Bruno. Race number 9, single, is going to be Poseidon. And race number 10, I am going to single, codename Cigar Box. 2
Good
scratches
stuff.
in that race. The 3 and the 4 is out, brings him down into a field of 8.
Now you got a late pick 5 as well.
I
Okay,
do, I
let's
do.
hear about it. Okay, you got a key in the 8th race with the 2.
Right, that'll be Bruno.
Bruno, yep.
And then Poseidon and Double and Dasher I went with in there. Race number 10, another key code name. 6 and 8 is going to be It Takes Two and Storm Along. And then in race number 12, the 6 horse, early action. 10 to 1 morning line, but where I'm going on top, Aquinas Hanover.
Yes. That's the Turcotte horse, a new horse. Oh no, he's not a new horse.
Oh
into
no,
that
he's
barn.
been a
No,
bit
no,
of
no,
a
no.
project, this fella.
Yeah.
Big wheels, but he's got a bit of a mind on him like Randy Waples.
Ah,
All over
not
the
one of
place.
those
Oh,
minds.
yes.
Well, I only have a $10 late pick 5. See, I got all these keys.
Nice.
Right? So race number 8, I'm keying Bruno.
Right.
Race number 9, I'm keying Poseidon.
Nice.
Race number 10, I'm using Why Wouldn't Ya and the 6 codename Cigar Box.
Beautiful.
Race number 11, I'm keying Storm Along.
Beautiful.
And then I'm going to go 5 deep.
Good for
right?
you.
In the 12th race because there's a lot of droppers in
Yeah,
there.
yep.
So I just wanted to include all those droppers 1, 4, 5, 6, and 8 because
You could have
they're
just
the
as
logical
easily hit
horses.
an all with this how cheap as you were.
I could have,
Yeah.
but
I'm
you
just
know.
saying, if somebody's looking to play along with Elisa's ticket, I mean, you can hit all in the end
Sure
of
you
it as
can.
cheap as
Absolutely.
you put it out there.
Absolutely.
Skinny ticket.
I like those skinny ones.
That's right. I think our tickets have been on Chad's camera. Okay.
All right, what's your plays of the night here?
Okay, worth a look going to come along in race number 4, and that's Bayfield Beach. Beat the Fave is Magical Bet in race number 7. Race number 8's my all-in with Bruno. And then race number 12, Waples Watch, Aquinas Hanover. With him, it's either going to be all or nothing.
All right, and then I've got this horse that Chantal Mitchell's got in the 5th race, Franco Santana. I think he could be ready to go off of the rest. Hot Barn, Lalamander, that's the Ron McDonald trainee, Poseidon, Class Act. You know, Poseidon's going to hit $1 million anytime now.
Yeah,
He's at
deserves it.
962, I think, and 3 in a row for Storm Along. So, you know, with a question mark just in case, but I still think he looks pretty live here tonight. Continuum, a top selection for
Ooh,
Ghislaine
Continuum.
Paquette. Hazy Coast in race number 11 at 5-1 for Garnet, and Kevin Plouch has got JMR Speakaway in race number 12.
Ghislaine's shooting for the fences here, but that's a good horse to take
Continuum?
a shot on.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
because the speed's there.
Yep,
It's just, you know, if he minds his manners. Good shot. Good pick, Ghislaine.
All righty, 12 races in store for you on this Saturday night, including the kickoff of the New Holland Pacing Series featuring 2 tough Minari racers. Good luck.